Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of AIQ. I'm your host, Malyaj, and today we are going to discuss a very interesting yet very controversial topic that is AI going to replace doctors? And for that, we have a special guest today, Dr. Rishabh Bajpayee. He's an AI expert and has an extensive knowledge of working in the field of AI in healthcare. So, welcome, Dr. Rishabh.
Thank you for having me, Malyaj. I'm excited to discuss this important and timely topic.
So, Dr. Rishabh, let's start with the basics. Let's first figure out what is or how much AI has got into healthcare till now. Basically, what is the overview of AI in healthcare currently?
Absolutely. AI is being utilized in numerous fields within healthcare. For instance, AI algorithms are now capable of analyzing medical images with remarkable accuracy. Sometimes, even surprisingly, their performance is more than human radiologists. These AI models can interpret medical imaging like X rays, MRI, and CT scans, help pathologists diagnose cancer, and even support clinical decision makings. Additionally, AI is being used to predict patient outcomes, personalize treatment plans, and even assist in surgical procedures with robot assistance. We are seeing AI used for tasks like generating clinical documentation and summarizing patient information to streamline physician workflow. So yeah, current AI models are doing everything from processing patients' information and diagnosing diseases to surgeries.
So basically, we can say that AI has had its impact in almost all the aspects of healthcare. Uh, so next question is, can you tell me some of the recent advancements? See, since AI as a field is growing by leaps and bounds each and every day. For me, at least, every other day there's a new thing coming up in AI. So, what are the latest advancements which have happened in AI specifically in healthcare?
Sure. One of the most notable advancement in the development of AI model that can predict the likelihood of disease before they occur. For instance, a recent study published in Nature Medicine demonstrated that an AI algorithm that can predict on the onset of diabetes and health disease years before traditional methods. Another exciting development is in the field of genomics, where AI is being used to identify genetic markers for various diseases, enabling more precise and personalized treatments. Google Research and DeepMind have developed the AI model. It's called AMIE. It is Articulate Medical Intelligence Explorer. It is an AI model built on a large language model to optimize diagnosis and reasoning of clinical conversations. So I can share like hundreds of examples of AI models being used for these applications, and that would be another topic for a different podcast.
Right. As I can understand, there are so many significant breakthroughs which have happened recently in AI, specifically for healthcare domain. So, let's come directly to the main question, which we have been discussing in the past as well, that whether AI is able to replace doctors or not. What do you think about it?
It's a complex question. While AI can significantly enhance and support the work of doctors, it's unlikely to completely replace them. AI excels at processing vast amount of data quickly and identify patterns that may not be obvious to humans. However, the role of doctor involves much more than just data analysis. It includes patient interaction, empathy, ethical decision making, and clinical judgment, which are areas where human doctors are irreplaceable by the current AI models. I can give you an example of one of my works. I am working on developing an AI model to assess the severity of dystonia, which is a type of muscle disorder in children with cerebral palsy. The assessment of dystonia is an extremely complex problem, and current clinical practice for diagnosing dystonia rely heavily on the expertise of the trained clinicians, which is human. However, these experts are in short supply and not available at all centers, clinics, and hospitals. Even when they are available, only 13% of children with cerebral palsy had leg dystonia diagnosed in a single clinical visit by an expert. Now, we developed an AI model with a positive predictive value, which is also known as PPV, and it got PPV of 84% for detecting dystonia. Now let's compare the performance of AI and human. Humans PPV is 13% in a single clinical visit, and AI models PPV is 84%. Now the question is whether we can replace a doctor with this AI model, and the short answer is no. Despite the significantly high performance of AI model compared to the doctor, there are so many other things that we need to consider in a clinic while assessing these diseases and disorders. However, such an AI model has a huge potential in screening patients to save time and efforts of doctors. Also, it can be used in absence of a doctor or for telemedicine. So, to summarize, the intention of developing these AI model is not to replace doctors, but to help them improving the effectiveness of their workflow.
Right. That is a very interesting use case which you just told, that for a disease, dystonia, I think the disease you told me, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
for a human doctor to predict it, there are only 13% chances of diagnosing it, whereas for AI it is
yeah,
84%. So I think that
yeah.
is huge. I mean, more than 6%. Sorry, six
Six
times.
times, yeah,
Yeah, so it is more than 6 times. That's a huge difference for me, I think. So let's take it one step further. I mean, I want to understand when you say that despite having such a good accuracy, AI is still not able to replace the doctors. What is that one thing, one or two things which are irreplaceable? I mean, you are able to generate much better results with AI, right?
yeah.
Diagnostics, as far as your use case is concerned, but
Hmm.
still you need a doctor. So can you give me example of your use case only? Why is doctor necessary?
Yeah. So the thing is, like, we know that the performance of AI model is better for detecting this particular kind of disorder. But the thing is, like, when we go to clinic, we just don't want a report. We just don't want whether it's the or disorder is present or absent. We also want to know the reasoning behind that discussion, that result, right? We want to know, like, what were the important step that were used to make that decision. So with these AI models, mostly they are black box, and it is like even when they are we are using some explainable AIs, we can't still like understand the reasoning behind reasoning the AI model is using to take these decisions, right? So for clinical judgment, the transparency of making decisions and the process used for to make that decision is very important, and that one thing is missing in current AI models. Second thing, when we go to doctor analyze our reports. They look at our vitals, and then based on those things, they give us some kind of medicine or of interventions. But the thing is, like, this patient doctor interaction plays a crucial role, where doctor shows some empathy. They sometimes they have to take some ethical decisions, and those decisions involve um, emotions. So those things, those judgment, decision making, empathy, emotions, those things are still not present in current AI models, and those things are irreplaceable by any current AI models in current clinical settings.
Right, right. So what I can grab from your answer is that the empathy part, the emotions, as emotional aspect of human beings is still irreplaceable as far as doctors are concerned. So I think I can also relate to it that my sister is doctors, and she tells me that it is very important to understand what is the mental state of the patient, even if there's no mental issue as such. I mean, the disease is not related. For example, he has broken his arm, hand, that is there, but you have to understand in what mental state the patient is currently. So that is, I think, right now the AI we have is not able to decipher that mental aspect. So right, that is very interesting. So all in all, I can say that AI and doctors will work together rather than one replacing each other. Is that a right conclusion we can draw from your answer?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in practice, we expect AI to handle tasks that are time consuming and data intensive, such as analyzing medical records, imaging, and lab results. And this will, if like AI is doing these things, then this will free up doctors to spend more time on direct patient care. For example,
Right.
AI could quickly scan through a doctor's history, through a patient's history and flag potential issues, allowing the doctor to focus on diagnostic and discussing treatment options with the patient. And in surgery, AI powered robots can assist with precision tasks like neurosurgeries, while the surgeon oversees the procedure and make critical decisions. The surgeon can direct the robot to do this and not do that, and the robot can execute that particular operation with precision.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, it's gonna be like collaboration of both intelligence, AI, and natural intelligence to solve this complex problem.
Right. 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 It reminds me of a very good analogy, completely unrelated to the topic we are discussing. That when the Indian government pushed for having cashless economy, like we are using UPI and all these days a lot. I mean, I don't even remember last time I used cash to do my daily transaction here in Bangalore. So, uh, but I once read somewhere an expert was saying that we do not intend to be a cashless economy. We intend to be a less cash economy. I mean, cash won't be replaced completely by UPI and all these digital modes, but it will definitely collaborate with it. It will be kind of a complement to cash and not the substitute. I think similar is the case with AI and doctors. No one is a substitute. Specifically, AI is not the substitute of doctors. It is just a complementary thing,
Yeah,
which can make them more efficient. Right.
yeah, that's a really good example. And I also
Right. Right.
I usually like give example of using computers in offices. So
Right. Right.
computer can perform very like good operations like computations, and it can process data. You can put in Excel sheet and organize it very well. And certainly it has replaced few jobs, but it has created more jobs because it is a
Right.
tool. It's not like replacing a human. The intent is to assist human and make it more their workflow more efficient. So that's what happened when we like you start using a computer in our everyday life, and same thing is going to happen when we will use AI in our everyday life and also in clinical settings. Yeah.
Right. So I think these were the positives of AI being used in medical field. Let's talk about some of the concerns and challenges which one can face as an individual and as a society when AI is being used in medicine field. So can you tell me some of the concerns and challenges?
Yeah, definitely. One major concern is ensuring the accuracy and reliability of AI systems. Any error in AI prediction or recommendations can have serious consequences. There is also the issue of data privacy and security, as healthcare data is
Right.
highly sensitive. Additionally, the ethical implementation implications of AI decision making need careful consideration, especially in life and death situations. Also, there is a need of proper training and education for healthcare professionals to effectively use these AI tools. Moreover, the black box nature, as I explained, of some AI model raises issues around explainabilities of these models, and doctor need to understand the reasoning behind AI generative recommendations. Lastly, I would like to point out one of the biggest challenge that I see in implementation of these models in countries like India, where doctors they don't have time to properly like assess any disorder. There's a long queue waiting of patients waiting in their office. So the major challenge what I see is the unavailability of proper digital infrastructure in most of the Indian hospitals.
Right. I think that is one of the biggest challenges to implement anything, any digital technology in second or third world countries where the digital infrastructure is not up to the mark. I mean, I
Yeah.
can think of consulting a doctor online and using these online technologies in a tier one city of India, but definitely things become much more clumsy when we go to tier three cities and rural areas. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I
that
just
is
want
there.
to like add
Also,
one point. Sorry to interrupt.
right.
So like if you
Yes,
take
yes.
example of Western countries or like let's say USA, here we do have electronic health record (EHRs), and these are basically record of everyone, and different hospitals they can share records, and they can you have like history of each patient, and that data is like can be used to analyze and predict several things. We can use that data to train models and build those models and then implement in hospitals. And since the hospital they have been recording those data, they can easily use that data as an input for model and predict the output and use that output for like improving their workflow. But in India, where we mostly rely on paper, we don't have such models, such EHR or digital infrastructure, and I think like it will take a lot of time to first implement those things. And even let's say if we have those things, then there will be another issue of trust, like doctors whether they will trust AI model or not. So the thing is the development of these AI models is important, but it's also important to build trust of these AI models in physicians.
Right,
Yeah, that thing is also like one of the biggest challenge what I
right,
can see.
right. I think trust is the most important thing when it comes to human health. I mean, you can experiment on machines, you can experiment on other aspects of life, but you can definitely not experiment with human health. That should be the last thing to do. And I mean, if you implement anything, it has to be 100% foolproof. So that is the case specifically with healthcare. So I think that we need to have extra care when we are implementing any new technology in healthcare. So yeah, that is the case. It also reminds me of one very interesting project I did as a computer vision engineer. It was actually we were given some dental scans of tooth of so many patients. So they wanted us to train a model so that we are able to distinguish between around say 2022 types of tooth decays and diseases were there. They had those classes separated out. So our task was to train a model which differentiates between those 22 models, 22 diseases, types of tooth issues, you can say. So and we were able to do it with around 96% accuracy, which I believe is very good in the case of such I mean, such complex health issues. It was very complex. At first, I thought that we won't be able to cross 80%, but thankfully we were able to cross 96%. But then again, that 4% thing, for that 4%, you need human intervention. So, as you discussed
Yeah.
a while ago, that AI can be a very good complement to doctors, but it can definitely cannot replace doctors, cannot replace them.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is the case. I think we have been able to discuss a lot on this topic, and before wrapping it up, I would like you to give some final thoughts on future of AI in healthcare, and how should we implement it, how should we take it in healthcare systems so that we are able to extract the maximum benefits, and we at the same time we are able to tackle the challenges and concerns we have. Like you discussed that there are ethical issues, there are issues of accountability, there are issues of digital infrastructure. So what are your thoughts in this?
Yeah, so I would like to answer the second part of this question first. So the thing is like so there are several challenges. I mean, we can make a list of like hundreds of challenges, and it's like those challenges are different for each region, each country, each medical system, and we need different approach for overcoming from those challenges. So let's talk about some common challenges which involves trust in AI, trust of doctors in AI. So if we are able to convince doctor that this particular tool is really good and it can help them in diagnosing certain disorder, then they can actually like they will start using those things in their clinical workflow, and eventually patients will also accept these things, and maybe we can implement those models in their mobile phone applications, and will be able to use that particular assistant for their personal use. So to overcome like this problem of trust in AI, first we need to build very robust models, and then we need to convince and show doctors that okay, this particular model is actually good, and based on doctors feedback how they want the model to be, what features do they want in those models, we can improve the models, and then we can fill this gap of trust in AI models. So that is the one way of like overcoming one of the major challenges in implementation of these AI model. Another is improving the accuracy. So we do have really good transformer based model for processing MRI data or X-ray data. So these are vision transformer. They can, if you give a lot of data, they can give you really good very accurate performance, and those models are actually being used in many clinics, and every day the uses is increasing. So if we look at this particular case study, we will like we can say that in that this particular thing where AI model can give us very good, very accurate readings, and since the data MRI data is like four-dimensional data, it is difficult for a human to actually interpret it. They instead of like relying on their own decision, they relied on AI model's decision. So if we look at this particular case study, we can say that in areas where human cannot assess a particular disorder and AI can, the acceptance rate is higher. And similarly, like we should start with such areas where we can like first gain trust of physicians by developing models, very accurate model, and that will take time. We need a lot of data, and we need to generate that data in clinic by developing proper pipelines. And once we get data, we develop a very accurate AI model and fill that gap, the present gap where human are unable to assess anything. Then we can like think about other aspect of improving the implementation of AI models. Now I will talk about the first part of the question, which is related to how can we like overcome these challenges, and what is my like final thought about all this thing, the implementation of AI in healthcare. So I believe that AI has the potential to revolutionize healthcare, making it more efficient, accurate, and personalized. However, it is crucial to approach this integration thoughtfully, addressing the technical, ethical, and practical challenges along the way. Ultimately, AI should be seen as a powerful tool that supports and enhances the work of healthcare professionals rather than replacing them.
Right, right. Okay, Rishabh, I think it was a very intriguing and exciting session for me personally. I got to learn a lot of new things which I was not aware of earlier, and so that's it, I think, for today. Thank you, Dr. Rishabh, for your insightful uh, knowledge in this specific topic, AI in healthcare. And I think there's a lot to talk, and I think we'll be able to meet again and talk on it uh, in much more detail. And I think by that time, AI would be much more accurate and maybe doing much more things in healthcare. That's what I believe. So that's it for today. I think. Thank you, Rishabh, for joining in. It was a very insightful session for me personally. I got to learn a lot of new things. So thanks a lot. How was your experience, by the way?
Yeah, it was fun. I was able to share a lot of things, and I'm happy about it. And I feel
Right, right.
that the discussion was like constructive because we discussed a lot of things. We discussed like various aspect of the problem. So I believe it would be like beneficial for the audience as well to understand like
Right.
how AI is changing over time and how is it affecting our healthcare. Maybe based on this discussion, they can have some ideas and they can improve the basic problems and the challenges what we are facing in Indian clinical healthcare system. Yeah, and thank you, Malaj. It was a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thanks. Same here, same here. Dr. Rishabh, thank you. Thank you again for joining in. And thank you everyone for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, do like, share, and subscribe. And do let us know in the comment section what all other topics you want us to cover in artificial intelligence in general. We are trying to stay updated with this ever evolving artificial intelligence field. So, yeah, until next time, stay curious and stay informed. Thank you.